Well, hello and good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. This is the day that the Lord has made. I shall rejoice and I shall be glad in it. I'm Dr. Julia Royston, owner of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the Book Business Boss Consulting, as well as For the Kingdom Ministries, where we're helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, be a book business boss, and live your best life. So, we're in a series of sorts. This is week three, and God spoke to me last month and said, I want you to talk about in November. I'm not done. We make a November, no, I'm not done, November to remember. And so it's taken from Philippians 1 and 6. He which hath begun a good work in you will perform it. And no matter what's going on in your life, in your world, I'm just here to tell you I'm the messenger. I'm just delivering the mail. Okay. I don't come for the messenger, but he says, I'm not done. And believe you me, we have an example of what happens when he is done. Jesus died on the cross, and at the end, he said, It's finished. And then he hung his head and gave up the ghost. So we know what it's like when he's finished. But he wants to let us know that no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what you're facing, no matter what people say, no matter what people do, he is not done. So he started it and he's going to finish it. And this week he says, Do you trust me? That's what he's asking you. Do you trust me? And it's taken, of course, from Proverbs 3 and 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to thine own understanding. And all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. That's the conclusion of it. But this device doesn't give me but so much room. So you know the rest. But trust in the Lord. First off, you got to trust him. And then lean. And then in all your ways, acknowledge. Go to him first. So it's a complicated situation. It's multiplicity. And so first off, let me offer the first disclaimer. If you do have trust issues, if you have had people systematically, continually, and over time let you down, and you have a struggle with trusting people. Me, I have the control issue thing. You got your thing, I got my thing. Okay, so I got the control issues thing that um I'm learning the trusting people thing. Now the Lord, I'm good, you know, and I'm gonna talk about why I'm good with trusting the Lord. It's scary. It's like being on a roller coaster ride, and you see the dips and you see the turns, but sometimes they don't give you the heads up, and then they don't tell you ahead of time. And I'm a planner. I like to prepare, and I've been planning really kind of in my mind an event I want to have, but the more I look at it, the more I'm like, am I really gonna go for it? I mean, like, is anybody gonna come? Is anybody gonna show up? So, you know, I do have trust issues still, probably, but I have more control issues probably than trust, because I feel like if I do it, it'll get done. Like you can't go far that way. That's another time we talk about trust issues. So if you have trust issues, this is kind of the disclaimer, and I acknowledge it. I acknowledge it that I have some of those issues too. Not in the Lord. That old song, I will trust in the Lord until I die. But there's levels of that trust because we're going to be tested to that trust. So, number one, if you have trust issues, I get it. And we're going to go to God about it. How about that? But number one, you got to always remember number one, who you're trusting. Who are you trusting? That's where you got to start. The who. The who are you trusting? Sometimes you're trusting that you don't really have any choice. You could mention something, point out the obvious, point out the issues, tell what happened in the past. But if you're going to stay on that job, if you're going to stay in that relationship, if you're going to keep going with that distributor, if you're going to keep moving, there is a level of trust that's really kind of out of your control. You can look for other options, check your money, check your budget, your other personal relationships. husband, wife. People will disappoint you at all levels. There are deal breaker disappointments, and then there's things it's just them, or an accident happened, or they got held up by a train, or they had a flat tire. That's not to me, that's not a deal breaker if they don't arrive on time or they don't get there. But if they consistently disappoint you in major areas, fidelity and work and money and all of that, there's some things that are beyond people's control. But it depends on who you're trusting. Who you're trusting. And we're talking about God here. We're not talking about people who have all kinds of distractions, all kinds of agendas, all kinds of you just can't do that. Yeah, I mean, it's just the bottom line. You trust them to a certain level. I trust them with my life. I don't know about all that. I trust you greatly, but with my life, I only can put it in God's hands. That's just it. I can't go that far, And even if they haven't let you down in the past, they've always been there for you. They called, they were in a meeting, they even called back 2 hours later, 2 days later, 2 weeks later, and check on you and say, girl, my life been life. That's a level of trust, but trust you with my life and it's got to be God. It's got to be God. So you got to determine who you are trusting. And then, of course, number 2 is their expertise and experience. Okay. So if you're pulling through the drive-through at one of the fast food restaurants, you don't really know how much experience they have, but they have a level of expertise that they can give you back your credit card, and they can give you back the correct change. And even if they don't know how to do the correct changes, it's lifted up there. And so if they can count money, they can give you, that's their expertise, and give you the bag and the drink. And oops, did you remember the straw? And oh, I had some ketchup I wanted. Oh, and where about the honey or the jelly that I wanted for my biscuit? It's the track record. It's the level of expertise. It's the doctor. It's the lawyer. It's the, even people come to me for publishing. Some people, I can have an expertise. You can go to Amazon, put my name in, my company in, and other people, you can see all of that, but they still have a level of trust that they struggle with. So I can provide you with references. I'll be happy to do that if you need that. I've got people who yeah, I'll give a reference. And I'm not in the conversation. I'm not on the Zoom call. I'm not on the email. They can ask them anything they want. My client can say anything they want. And it's left up to that. Because I have a level of trust in God that whoever I'm supposed to work with now, after 17 years, I'm going to work with. Whoever's supposed to be attached to me, God will make sure that they get to me. Whoever I'm supposed to help get their message to the masses will happen. And that's the level of trust I have in God. That, I confess my account get real low one time. Real low. And it wasn't even in COVID. And I was like, Lord, I'm getting ready to go under. He said, no, you're not. You trust me. We're not going under. I was like, Lord, what? Now, it wasn't my house. It wasn't the lights. It didn't have nothing to do with Brian. It was just people hadn't paid. And then slowly but surely, here they come. And I had one client that took care of me through the rest of the year. So who are you trusting? Who are you trusting? Who are you trusting in? And then their expertise and experience. Because now I have an experience with God that is just like, whew. I mean, I have a level of comfort where I like for either my money to be, or like for my business to be in the situation and where it is. And but now, since I had that one experience where it was real low, like it was crazy low, I now know, okay, I can trust him with that. I can go to him with that. I can go, song said, sorry, I got a song for you. I can go to God in prayer. I can. I sure can. I can tell him everything. I can tell him anything. And he keeps good secrets. He keeps all my secrets and all my shortcomings and all my frailties and even the stuff that I know is wrong. I shouldn't even be thinking it, but it came anyway. And I probably had every right to think it, but it wasn't the right thoughts. Lordy. But then People have a level of expertise and they have a level of experience, but then you got to understand, are they willing and able? Now there's what it is. Are they willing and able? So that old song, ask the Savior to help you, comfort, strengthen, and keep. I told you I had a song for you. Keep you. He is willing to aid you. I know Jesus will care. I felt that Sunday morning shondo in my spirit. Jesus will care. You see, you heard my foot be the bass. Jesus will carry you through. He's willing to aid you. He's willing. And he's able. But is he willing? You can go to a whole lot of people. They able, but they sure ain't willing. They're not willing to give. Ooh, I got so many stories. But once I went to somebody and I knew they had a level of expertise and experience, and I was willing to pay for a session, and they still didn't respond. No. I didn't want to pick their brain for free. They could have told me what it was, and they could have sent me an invoice, and I would have found the money and paid them. But they weren't. They were able, but they weren't willing. They didn't even respond, and I knew what that meant. I'm not telling you, Julia Royce, and the answer. I don't care what. So I keep moving until God sends me the person who is willing and able. Oh yeah, God says he's not done. He says, trust me. But it just depends on who we trusted and their experience and expertise and their track record. God's got a great track record. He don't always do. He may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. And he may not come how you want it. And he is willing and able, but he's going to do it at his timing, at his pace. But do you trust him enough for that? Are you trusting him enough to wait? Sarai, and Abraham, are you going to do your own thing and create a mess and a situation and a circumstance and the results we're still feeling the repercussions of to this day? Y'all been bones and been in the ground, been in the tomb. Ugh. But we still suffering in modern times for your actions because you wasn't willing and able to wait. That's another session another time. But trust me. Are you willing to trust me? He's willing and he's able. He can do anything. Remember, God is omnipresent. He's everywhere. He's omnipotent. He got all power. He's omniscient. He knows everything. Everything. Can you imagine? Whew. I can't even get that in my mind. He knows everything about everybody, even down to their motives. He said, all the hairs on your head, I got numbered. Even the ones that fall out in the sink and in the ground and they cut off and fall out. But he's willing and able. But you got to trust him and give him time no matter how long it takes. He's a God. You can't. I told you I had a song for it. That you can't hurry. You'll be there. Don't you worry. He may not come when you want him, but he's right on time. And then this is the final thing for the trust. Will they execute? Yeah, now he can execute. He knows the assignment. He that begun a good work, he has the assignment, is the plan, the purpose, all of it. And he can execute it perfectly. But the how? How are we going to do it? Even as business owners, how are we going to get that done? How are we going to move that mountain? How are we going to? I was in the shower praying to God just recently. And I was like, that would be a good idea to be able to do. That's why. And he said, and here's how you're going to do it. And he gave it to me. Boom, just like that. I said, oh, Holy Spirit, God, Jesus, that was a great idea. Yes. And he told me exactly how. Do you trust them to execute and how? It's like having a wedding planner. When you walk into the reception, is it going to be gorgeous? Or are you going to be like, where's my money I paid? And we put our life in God's hands. He knows how to execute and how. My mama said he can do it so smooth. Girl, he's smooth. The old saying, smooth as a silver dollar. He can execute But you got to realize it starts with that big T. Do you trust me? Trust me. I'm not done. Trust me. I hope that blesses you today. I hope that helps you along your way and moves you to that next level of faith, that next level of endurance, so that you know he's not done. Sometimes I'll say, even before he said it, I'm not done. I look and I go, that ain't what he showed me. Wait a minute, this ain't what I know you have a different way of doing things sometimes, but I look at certain situations, I was like, this is not what he showed me. This is not what I saw. This is not what he gave me in a dream. This is not the vision he gave me. Then you know you're not done. If that's not what you saw, that's not what God gave you, then you know you're not done. That means you need to keep moving, keep going, keep stepping, keep building, keep learning, keep going to the webinars, keep trying it out, keep pitching, keep moving, keep learning, keep growing, keep knowing, keep changing. Because if this ain't it, then we got to move them. Then we got to move. Then we got to change. Then we got to adjust. And a lot of it has to do with you. And change your mindset, change your moves so you don't lose your momentum. I hope that helps you today. Woo! I felt that in my shando. Hello. Coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live your best life right there on envision-radio.com. Always download the free app, as well as listen on all mobile devices, your phone. People ask me all the time, how do I listen? Open up envision-radio.com. Push play. It's going 24 hours a day. Let's do it. Coming up at 11 a.m. is the Spike Davis and Friends show. Tune in for laugh, music, and more. And then Tuesdays, the Book Business Boss show. Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard, right there on envision-radio.com. And speaking of Envision Radio, tonight, Books for the Holidays with Envision Radio host. Tune in at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, this is how you can listen tonight. You can listen any other time, but go to your, and you can, of course, have Facebook on your phone as well, but go to the Envision Radio Live page on Facebook. Envision Radio Live page. Like, subscribe to that page, and then it will give you notification when we go live tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. Super excited for that. And looking forward to going live with the Envision Radio host a little bit later, just really in about 45 minutes. I'm going to be reading to a Daddy and Me book club out of Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts. Super excited about that. They already have my book. I appreciate their support. There's nothing like an author when people buy in bulk and the children have the book already in their hand. And it's been a wonderful experience, and I look forward to that. So prayers go up about 11 a.m. For me too as well. And then what else is going on this week? Oh, I'm rolling back to Atlanta, on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. And I'm super excited. This is the last out of town event. I think I have a couple school visits and some things that came up. Some people may be reaching out to me, but I know I'll be at one of the schools before the end of the year. And I think that's in December. I'll announce when that's finalized in a little bit, probably next week. But the National Alliance of Black School Educators is in Atlanta, November 20th through the 24th. So I'll be there. I'm in booth 101, just inside the door. Thank you for the wonderful positioning. I appreciate that. And looking forward to being in Atlanta. Always have a good time when I'm there. Can't stand the traffic. Love the people. Can't stand the traffic. But I always look forward to going in and hanging out and then coming on back out. So that's kind of the last major event. My other events really start in January with some school visits in February. My 2025 is heating up, and my calendar is filling up really quickly, which is a great thing. And I'm greatly appreciative of all of those for reaching out to me. I had a wonderful time this past week at the University of Louisville at a diversity in children's literature class with college students. and that was wonderful. They would shoot me questions like the press corps, but I loved being there, and believe you me, they were picking my brain. They're the future teachers, and I'm super excited that I was able to pour back into them. Some of them are writers, want to be writers, interested in publishing, so they got all of that, and so I was super excited about that. Let's see who's joining me this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. How are you, love? And good morning, good morning. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes. And we all got to learn that even more, even more. Hey, cousin Joy, how are you, love? Yes, Miss Peggy Dixon. It does help. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. And I trust that you have a phenomenal rest of the day. And as I always say, pray today, tomorrow, and always. Tomorrow and always. Hey, Ben, I was wondering where you was in this morning. Good morning. How are you? Everything going in Seattle? I trust that you're doing all right. Please tell your wife I said hello. Hey. But my prayer is always today, tomorrow, and always that you live your best life, the life God died for you to have, the one Jesus rose for you to have. Live it, walk it every day of your life, no matter what's going on. Live it every day of your life. Snow? No, I'm not ready for snow. I think we're supposed to get some flurries this week too. It's supposed to get really cold out. That's the reason why I wear the cute little dress, the sundress things, as long as I can in the house. But I know it's time for me to get my sweaters and boots out. So anyway, be careful out there in that snow. But y'all ready for it out there in Seattle. Love y'all all. Bye bye. Have a great week. Bye bye.